This universal all-in-one kit for replacing your anything on your toilet is really useful. It literally has all the components to replace any of the internals. If your toilet is leaking around the base, you'll definitely want this kit specifically. First, you have to disconnect the water line, which is pretty easy to do, and then take out the existing internals, which I've already done prior to making this video here. So you can see here that we're starting with an empty base, everything's disconnected. Except for the actual assembly for the plunger itself. My bolts were really rusted here, so keep in mind that you can actually unbolt these things from the bottom. So usually it's a 13 millimeter wrench, just keep that in mind. So I went ahead, got the bolts removed. Now I can take the actual tank off of the toilet. So to take the tank off, we're just gonna lift it up here. And once it's off, you're gonna see here, there's going to be a seal that you'll need to remove. Take that off. And then there's going to be this, this nut around it. And you can remove that with the channel lock pliers. You can see now I've got that out of there. Replacing the plunger assembly is simple. Again, you need to take the seal off and then take the nut off. The kit also comes with a replacement flush lever, and I decided not to use it because I wanted to keep the color the same as the toilet. But if you want, that's included as well. I used everything else in the kit though. You do have to measure here to make sure that the overflow is lower than the actual hole itself where the flush lever hole is. And then obviously just follow the directions here. It's pretty straightforward. But I cut this down using a hacksaw. And then once in place, I tightened the nut at the bottom and then reinstalled the seal. From here, you have to make sure that you assemble the bolts the right way in order for the toilet not to leak. This is a pretty straightforward process as well. You'll just put the bushing around the bolt itself, then go ahead and slide that into the tank, and then we're going to apply a nut in the thin washer, or the washer in the thin nut, and then tighten that up. Don't over tighten it, just make sure that it's snug. And then we're going to do the same thing here after we put the toilet on the the base back on the toilet itself. And here for the lower bolts, it's going to be the bushing, then the washer, then the nut. Then we're going to tighten everything up again using our 13 millimeter wrench. Again, don't over tighten here, just snug is perfect. Everything at that point should be pretty secure again, but just a look from the bottom. This is how everything should look with about that much of a gap there. Should be pretty straightforward otherwise. All right, next we're going to install the actual fill valve itself, and this is pretty easy to install. Again, you're just going to screw it in the spot at the bottom, and then adjust the height. The height needs to be above the overflow. So just follow the diagram here, but you can see that it adjusts by twisting. And then we need to actually apply the actual tubing that's going to connect the refill port to the actual overflow. And so you can see here that I did that, but it was a little bit high. You can actually trim the tubing if needed to make it lower, which is what I ended up having to do with my setup here. But you can see here as I pull it, everything kind of opens up properly, so everything is working there correctly. All right, now you're going to retighten the water line, and then once everything is all snugged up there, it's time to turn it on and just make sure that everything works properly. In our case here, no leaks, which is good. So you're just going to want to make sure that nothing leaks. Everything should fill up, and then as it fills up, you'll want to make sure that it actually stops running. So at some point it should stop. And then make sure that you flush the toilet as well. Make sure you test that and that everything refills correctly, that you don't hear any running water after everything is reconstructed back together. So overall, pretty simple process. Honestly, it took me about 20 minutes to do the whole job, and that included filming. So just keep that in mind. You could probably do this in 10 to 15 minutes. It's pretty straightforward. Highly recommend this set. It made everything really easy. You're not going to regret